You grow up in a border town where the main exports are people in desperation. Your father teaches high school history. Your mother runs a pharmacy with bars on the windows. You study law on a scholarship. You come home because you believe you can fix things. People tell you that's naive. It's just the only idea you have. City council at 26, state legislature at 30, anti-corruption platform, clean quotes, no scandals. By 38, the party wants you for governor. You're young, photogenic, and you check every box. The polling is strong. You just need funding. That's where it starts. Not with a threat, not with a gun, with a dinner. A businessman named Salazar invites you to his ranch, cattle operation, white fences, horses. He's polite, educated, talks about infrastructure reform like he cares. He writes you a check, legal, documented, within limits. You shake his hand. You go home feeling good. That's the first mistake, not the handshake. The feeling good. More checks come through PEIS, bundlers, small businesses that all use the same accounting firm. Your campaign manager calls it grassroots support. It isn't, but it's legal. The kind of legal that requires you not to ask questions. You win by 9 points. Inauguration day. Your mother is in the front row. Your father died the year before. Heart attack at the school where he taught for 31 years. Part of you is relieved he's not here. He'd have looked at the crowd and counted the wrong faces. First 6 months, you govern like you campaigned. Infrastructure education. A new hospital in your hometown. Then Salazar calls, not with a request, with information. A federal raid is planned in the Southern District next Tuesday. He says 14 families will be displaced. Bad optics. He suggests you call the federal liaison and request a postponement. Public safety reasons. Governors coordinate with agencies all the time. You make the call. The raid gets pushed 3 weeks. 2 days later, $200,000 appears in a pack supporting your agenda. You didn't ask for it. You don't send it back. During those 3 weeks, the target moved his entire operation across the border. $600 kilos of product cleared through the corridor you just kept open. You didn't protect families. You protected a supply line. The $200,000 wasn't a donation. It was your cut. Salazar invites you to another dinner. There's a second man at the table. No introduction, no last name. Quiet, still hands. He doesn't eat. He watches you like a mechanic checking an engine for problems. He asks about your mother, the pharmacy, the hospital you're building. He says it would be a shame if the contractor pulled out. He says this the way someone mentions the weather. Then Salazar talks about football and the night moves on. You drive home understanding exactly what Salazar is, what the quiet man is. The money, the favors, the helpful calls. None of it was generosity. It was onboarding. You've been hired for a job you never applied for. There's no resignation letter. A judge needs appointing in the Southern District. Salazar has a name, qualified candidate, clean resume. You appoint him. 3 months later, a trafficking case lands in his courtroom. 47 kilos seized at a checkpoint. 2 drivers arrested. Open and shut. The judge throws it out. Procedural error in the warrant. The drivers walk. The 47 kilos were a fraction of a larger shipment that crossed the same night using the same corridor. The seizure was a decoy. The real load made it through while every federal agent in the district was processing evidence from the fake bust. Your judge didn't just dismiss a case. He was the timing mechanism in a logistics operation, and you installed him. A police commander in the border region starts making problems. Commander Vega, old school, honest. He sets up random checkpoints that aren't on any schedule. His officers intercept 3 shipments in 2 months. Salazar doesn't ask you to fire him. He asks you to promote him. Capital assignment, desk job, better title, 0 field authority. You sign the transfer. Vega's replacement is a man named Duran. Within a month, the checkpoints stop. The seizure reports drop to 0. Not because the drugs stopped, because the reporting stopped. 6 weeks after Vega's transfer, you see his name in the news. He was found in his car on a rural highway outside the capital. 2 bullets in the back of the head. The official report says carjacking. His wallet and watch were missing. The case goes to a detective who files it as unsolved within a week. You read the article at your desk. You know the wallet and watch are sitting in a ditch somewhere. You know who made the call. You signed the paper that moved him out of his territory and into an unprotected city where nobody knew his face. You didn't pull the trigger, you just moved the target into the open. You closed the article. You open your next briefing. Your hands are steady. That's the part that scares you. You're 2 years in now. The cartel's operation runs through your state like plumbing. You're not the boss. You're the building inspector who signs off on the permits. Salazar brings you a list once a quarter, not on paper, over dinner. Conversational. A road project that needs to be prioritized. The road connects 2 towns with nothing between them except desert and a warehouse that processes 200 kilos a week. A telecommunications contract that needs to go to a specific company. The company installs cell towers that also monitor police radio frequencies. A prison transfer request. A mid-level cartel accountant doing 8 years needs to move to a minimum security facility in the south. The facility where 3 guards are on the payroll. He'll be out in 11 months on good behavior. Every request has a legitimate surface, road infrastructure, improved connectivity, prisoner rehabilitation. The paperwork is clean. The purpose is not. You approve all of it. The money comes back as development. Schools built by cartel-funded contractors, hospitals equipped with laundered cash, roads paved with drug money. Your approval rating hits 61%. People in your hometown name a street after your father. The pharmacy your mother runs now has a new storefront. No more bars on the windows. You paid for the renovation with your salary. At least that's what you tell yourself. You can't actually trace which dollars are clean anymore. The streams merged a long time ago. Then Salazar asks for something different. A town called T. Lagos. Small, rural, 4,000 people. The cartel wants to use it as a transit hub. They need the municipal police to fund it. Not dissolved, just starved. Budget cuts, reduced patrols. The state pulls funding for the local precinct as part of a rural restructuring plan. On paper, it's an efficiency measure. Tres Lagos loses 12 officers. Within 3 months, the cartel moves in. They don't announce themselves. They just appear. Armed men at the gas station. Trucks moving through at 200 a.m. A local shop owner who asks questions gets his store burned down. A teacher who calls the state police gets visited at home. The state police don't come. You defunded their jurisdiction. Tres Lagos becomes a ghost town with a pulse. The people who stay do so because they can't afford to leave. The people who leave lose everything. You never visit. You read about it in a report your chief of staff summarizes in 2 sentences. Rural migration trends, population decline. Your mother calls every Sunday. She says she's proud. She says your father would be proud. You stare at the wall. After she hangs up, you pour a drink. Within a year, the drinking starts at 7 p.m. Within 2 years, it starts at lunch. A journalist starts digging. Young woman, independent outlet. She maps the PAC money, traces the accounting firm, interviews contractors. Her latest article doesn't name you yet, but the shape is there. Salazar calls. He says it would be helpful if she stopped. You call your attorney general. Suggest the journalist might be in danger. Suggest a protective detail. What you're really suggesting is surveillance. Within a week, her sources go quiet. She publishes one more article, thinner than the others, then she stops. 3 weeks later, she's found dead in her apartment. Gas leak. Accidental. The investigation lasts 4 days. You read about it on your phone while sitting in the back of your state vehicle on the way to a ribbon cutting for a new school. You look out the window. You look at your phone. You put it in your pocket. You cut the ribbon. You smile for the cameras. That night, you drink until you can't stand. You throw up in the bathroom of the governor's mansion and sit on the tile floor for an hour. You called the AG. The AG called someone called someone, and a 29-year-old woman is dead because she was good at her job. You didn't order it, you didn't know it would happen, but you opened the door and something walked through. Year 3. The quiet man reappears in your office, past security, past your secretary, sitting in the chair when you arrive Monday morning. He tells you the organization is pleased. He tells you they'd like a second term. He tells you your likely opponent has already been offered the same deal. If you decline, they move to the next one. You're a service provider, replaceable. He leaves. You sit for an hour. You think about calling the FBI. You think about your mother's address in the quiet man's mouth. You pour a drink at 10:00 a.m. and start planning your reelection. You win the second term, 4 points. The margin is thinner. The journalist's book is publishedly by her colleagues. It doesn't name you directly. Everyone who matters can read between the lines. Year 5. A shipment gets intercepted. DEA Federal Task Force. Wiretaps. Someone talked. Arrests start at the bottom and climb. Each one a step closer to Salazar. Each one a step closer to you. Salazar calls. Voice tight. Stay calm. Say nothing. Loyalty will be rewarded. Disloyalty will not. You open your desk drawer. There's a bottle. There's also a burner phone you bought 6 months ago. You dial a number from a card a DEA agent gave you at a fundraiser 2 years ago. He said, "Call if you ever wanted to talk." You thought he was bluffing. He wasn't. You give them everything. Salazar, the quiet man, the judge, Duran, the PACs, the accounting firm, the road contracts, the telecom deal, the prison transfer, Tres Lagos. 5 years of dirt in a single file. In exchange, immunity, witness protection. Your mother relocated before it goes public. The raids happen on a Tuesday. Salazar arrested at his ranch. The quiet man never found. 37 indicted. Your name is on every filing, not as defendant, cooperating witness. Your mother calls, you don't pick up. The voicemail says she saw the news. She doesn't understand. She says your father would have known what to say. She says she loves you. She says she wishes you'd never left home. They move you. Small town, cold winters, rented house, thin walls. You cook meals for one. You watch the trial. Salazar gets 22 years. The judge gets 7. Nobody is charged for Vega. Nobody is charged for the journalist. Nobody is charged for Tres Lagos. The quiet man is still out there. They say South America. You know better. Men like him don't hide. They wait. Some nights you drive past the local municipal building. Through the window you see a young woman at the end of a table with a binder full of proposals talking while nobody listens. You recognize her. You were her. You want to walk in and say something. Be careful who smiles at your fundraiser. Be careful when the checks come easy. You don't walk in. What would you say? Don't become me. She wouldn't listen. You didn't either. The cartel doesn't run on drugs. Drugs are just the product. It runs on ambition. Every compromised official started as someone who wanted to help. That's the hook, not greed. Just a person who wanted to build something and discovered the only money available came with strings. By the time you feel them, you're not holding the strings. They're holding you. There's no retirement, no pardon, just a rented house and a voicemail you listen to every night but never return. That's a wrap for today. This story is fiction, but somewhere right now, a young politician in a border town just got invited to a ranch with white fences. The food is excellent, the company is charming, the check is generous, and the price won't come due for years. If this one made you think, drop a comment. Subscribe for more. See you in the next.